Now on Nightside, the Salvation Army is working to keep more people warm as temperatures drop. We'll tell you some of the challenges they're facing and how many beds are available for Spokane's homeless each night.
And chilly temperatures are right around the corner. Plus, we'll let you know how much fog you'll run into in the morning.
And a new scam alert from the Spokane County Sheriff's Office. The signs to look out for so you don't get tricked out of your hard-earned money. You're watching 4 News Now Nightside. And thanks for staying up with us tonight. I'm Kirsten O'Connor. Inclement weather shelters have already been activated 35 times this winter, but that number will most likely go up with even colder weather on the way. The Spokane City Council made contract amendments last night with 4 of its shelters, spending another $200,000 on 4 different sites. Salvation Army says it was relying on these funds to keep their doors open for the rest of the winter.
Our 25 beds fill up every single night. Just last night, we turned away 3 individuals just because we didn't have space, and that is common and regular.
Due to the closure of the track shelter, the Salvation Army has had to move its inclement weather site to the basement of the Way Out shelter. This means it has fewer beds to offer, but there are benefits to bringing these 2 styles of shelters together.
That we have cold weather beds right here at our facility at the Way Out, and the Way Out is a program that has levels of accountability built into it so that individuals are working towards next step solutions. But to have a low barrier option just below it gives us an opportunity to introduce folks upstairs.
The Salvation Army has 186 people staying at their inclement weather site so far, out of which 11 have moved into the Way Out shelter. Definitely feels chilly out tonight. Even colder weather, though, is just around the corner. Meteorologist Matt Gray joining me now, and we need to get, you said, the gloves, the hats, the
everything
scarves.
That we haven't used this winter, by and large, and no wonder. The last 75 years from November up to this particular date, Kirsten, we are talking about the second warmest period of time here to start off the winter season. 75 years is not a small sample, for sure. So it has been an extremely mild start around Spokane and many other parts of the inland Northwest. Not much is going to change for the next couple of nights here, but as we head into Friday and Saturday, we're going to see some Arctic air drop down to the plains. It's going to bring some chilly air across the mountains, and we are going to get cold enough to where things will be dramatically different here. This is our average low, which is in the mid-20s at this point in the year. And so for the first time in what feels like forever, we're going to see below average overnight temperatures, and that means at least around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene dropping down to the mid-teens. We may even get down into the lower teens if just a little bit more colder air spills across the Continental Divide here. So that is what we are going to see, and we'll begin to see that drop starting on Friday. In the meantime, a little bit more morning fog, but even better, more chances for sunshine in the afternoon. We'll talk about that in your Wednesday forecast coming up.
All right, Matt, well, as you just heard, this week we could see some of our coldest temperatures of the season so far. That bitter cold is not only uncomfortable, it is dangerous, especially for the most vulnerable in our community. The Salvation Army is also helping people bring these warming shelters with a street-level van. In addition to transportation, the organization gives people care packages filled with blankets, hand warmers, and food, all assembled by volunteers.
It changes their whole attitude. They're like, oh man, thank you. We really appreciate that. No one stopped. No one's give us anything. No one's even talked to us.
Roy Garcia, who you just heard from, says multiple times a week his job is more difficult because there are no open shelter beds to send people. When this happens, he opens up his truck, he gives people a minute to warm up, a care package, and then he is forced to send them on their way. Well, there's a scam you need to look out for. The Spokane County Sheriff's Office is warning people about a scam call that you or your family members may get. The scammers claim to be law enforcement officers, telling the person on the other end of the line that they are in legal trouble and threatening them with jail time in order to get them to send money via prepaid credit cards and cryptocurrency. If you get one of these calls with someone asking you for money in an unusual way, that's one of the ways the Sheriff's Office says you should flag that as a scam.
isn't something that law enforcement does. We're not going to call and demand payment and say that, that you're going to be under arrest if you don't make this payment immediately.
Well, the sheriff's office also says if you get one of these calls, hang up. Do not engage. If you're confused about if it was a real or fake call, you can look up the correct phone number for the police department or the sheriff's office and call them directly. Never give out personal or banking information over the phone.
It's been a long 3.5 years for North Central to try and get revenge on Pullman. The last time they played a 74-53 Greyhound win, their third in a row over the Wolfpack boys team. Both of these teams come into this matchup near the top of GSL 2A and will both need a win to stay there. Pullman, winners in these schools' last 3 meetings. Again, they just ended their 3-game win streak at the towns of West Valley. NC coming off a 6-point win over Clarkston, trying to keep it up tonight. First quarter, good pressure on Von Holstad, but he recovers, pass it inside to Ryan Ha, and what a bounce pass to the senior Daniel Kwan. His short hook shot is good. Pullman taking the lead, and they look for a double-digit lead. Just minutes later, Gavin Dealey in for 2, just missing a block attempt by Isaac Williams. Timeout Wolfpack, and now closing seconds of the quarter, Tyson Vogrid to Ja'an Carney for 3. He hits it less than a second before the buzzer. We're down to a 7-point game, but it would be Pullman who pulls it out. They win 67-63. That's now 4 straight wins for the Greyhounds over the Wolfpack. That's all for First Sports, but tune in later in the cast. We have plenty more on the other high school games. Kristen, back to you.
We are totally excited to be a fan zone.
Just announced today, Spokane will be a designated fan zone city during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. Seattle is one of the host cities for the 2026 FIFA World Cup, and today it chose Spokane and 8 other cities across the state to help them celebrate. While the city is still in the beginning stages of planning for this event, it is looking for ways to get kids more involved during the 2026 FIFA World Cup. So fan zones can include live entertainment, activities, and lots more. City officials say Spokane will also be looking for ways to stream games at places like the Pavilion to create more communal events during this time.
This is going to be tremendous for our kids and families. We are making an all-in investment on them with playing fields and opportunities.
Spokane is also in the running to become a proposed base camp for one of the teams in 2026. Officials say we'll know whether a team selects Spokane during spring of next year. Well, still ahead here on 4 News Now, Nightside, how big changes to 1 North Spokane intersection could help cut down on the number of crashes.
And we'll see temperatures down to the 20s tonight. And as temperatures continue to cool, we'll see at least a little bit of patchy fog develop across the region. We're tracking the low clouds and when you can expect the sun to come out after the break.
Tonight, I'll be your baby reindeer.
It's like a whole thing of like, East Coast people. Dude, don't lose your edge. You don't want to lose your edge. Don't go getting happy. It's like, I think that's the point of the game.
Connect with 4 News Now on KXLY+.
4 News Now is brought to you by the Tin Roof.
At 4 News Now, we believe you should expect more from local news. Our team is committed to a community conversation and bringing you information you need when and where you need it. Numerica believes in and supports that mission.
Welcome to the card for Zags fans who dream big. Get your exclusive Gonzaga debit card from Numerica today.
For the professional, it's not enough to possess knowledge. We seek to refine it, to wield its power, to redefine its boundaries. Knowledge is put to the test in every GMC Sierra. Get 0.9% APR on select Sierra 1500 models. That's over $4,200 in average finance savings.
See your local GMC dealer.
Man, I can take real good care of you. See? Works perfectly for you, right?
At Craig Swap & Associates, we don't get paid until you win.
One call, that's all. 509-999-9999.
Mainstream has proudly served Greater Spokane and Northern Idaho for over 20 years, offering reliable and high-quality home services. Our exceptional team is committed to delivering trusted plumbing, heating, cooling, and electrical solutions that ensure the comfort and safety of your home. Our goal is to provide the best experience possible when it comes to repairing, maintaining, or installing systems that make your home a more comfortable place to live. Because we are home services, we are Mainstream.
All right, so let's begin.
Got a real good feeling. Spend 2025 with Jimmy Kimmel Live.
Oh, no one else is clapping?
New Kimmel, weeknights on ABC. 4 News Now is brought to you by Kerner Furniture.
Welcome back. The city of Spokane is looking at making changes to a dangerous intersection in the Emerson-Garfield neighborhood. The intersection of North Washington Street and West Buckeye Avenue has seen multiple crashes over the last few years. A couple that lives on that intersection says they've had to replace this fence twice in the past 2 years because of crashes.
About 6 months into living here, in the middle of the night, a car flew through Washington, straight through the intersection, and instead of curving a little bit, they went straight through our yard, straight through our fence.
The city is considering blocking off the northbound lane going into the neighborhood or blocking off both lanes with concrete planters. Important to think about the ice that could be out on the roads at this hour. I mean, we haven't had a whole lot of icy roads so far, but that could be changing soon.
Yeah, just a couple here and there, but you know, with the freezing fog, any kind of morning with a little bit of moisture, all of a sudden that comes back into the picture, right? So, and we're getting a little chillier so far in this late evening. You can see already down into the 20s in Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. Meanwhile, we're actually a little bit warmer as you track further north. We saw some places trying to creep down into the low 20s here this time yesterday. So kind of look at the change here. Look at Winthrop, 7 degrees warmer than we were at this time yesterday. But Coeur d'Alene, Spokane, slightly cooler. All this because we have seen some clearing skies today. And for the most part, at least for the time being, we are seeing largely clear skies. The red on your screen, these are high cirrus clouds. The blue signifies low clouds and or fog. And you can see not much going on with the exception of a few spots around Lake Coeur d'Alene, but places like Omak, Colville, into the Met Howe Valley that were a whole lot chillier last night, now socked in, at least with some low cloud cover for the time being. As we continue to cool off tonight, we will see that fog redevelop again around Spokane and Coeur d'Alene. So don't think you're going to be getting away without seeing any fog or cloudy conditions for the start of the day. We are not at that point just yet. Maybe with this cooler air mass coming later in the week, we can see some sunrises and sunsets. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. Here is what we've got for your day. I expect us to clear up a lot faster than we did today. A lot of places it wasn't until we got into the afternoon. I expect us to see at least a little bit of sun through that low cloud cover sometime during the morning. Could be as early as about 10 or 11 o'clock. And then once the sun is out, our temperatures will shoot up really, really fast. We'll likely even see some 40s out there. But at the very least, you'll reach the upper 30s for the afternoon. Overall, it is going to be a beautiful Wednesday around the inland Northwest. Now, with high temperatures over the next few days, well, we're going to wave goodbye to the above normal highs, which are in the mid-30s at this point, and we will have our highs in the 20s. By the time we get to the end of the weekend, we're talking about, in some places, our high temperatures matching the kind of lows we've had so far during this mild winter. That includes the Spokane area. So it just goes to show you probably more so how warm this season has been rather than how cool this incoming air mass is going to be. So let's show you here now. This is Thursday afternoon. Not much change from what we will see tomorrow. Probably a little more cloud cover. But then as we get into your Thursday evening, well, you can see that cooler air spilling in from BC and about a 10-degree difference here between Spokane and Bonners Ferry. And as the night goes on, we'll see those areas up north drop into the teens. Places like Colville, like Bonners Ferry, we'll start to see those 20s begin to move in that are cooler than upper 20s that we've kind of been stuck at here for the last couple of weeks in the I-90 corridor. So that's Friday morning, but the big Arctic push doesn't come until we get to Saturday morning. Now, more so, that's a problem for western Montana. It's going to be cold, but in parts of North Idaho and right along the Canada border into eastern and central Washington, this is when we are going to see the really chilly stuff. Low teens and single digits above zero at times. We'll kind of see how this evolves here over the next couple of days, but this is kind of the general ballpark you should be ready for the entirety of the weekend. Areas in pink, a chance for single digit lows in the teens across Spokane and Coeur d'Alene, and some 20s as you work your way south towards the Tri-Cities and Moses Lake. So that's what we are going to see for the weekend. Yeah, it's going to be a chilly weekend. If you've got an extra day off here for MLK Day, just remember, if you've got some plans, yeah, there's going to be some sunshine, but it's going to be some cold sun, and especially in the early mornings, you'll want to make sure you maybe, you know, like we talked about at the beginning of the program, the mittens and the hats and the things that kind of been gathering dust in the back corner. They're going to have to get pulled out this week.
Usually, I have to hang them up and let all the snow drip off, but they're just sitting there.
Yeah, won't have to worry about the snow. Maybe a couple flurries Thursday night, but that's it.
All right, Matt, thank you. Despite the chilly weather in the forecast, you just heard Matt say, not a lot of snow in the valleys. There's good news, though. This unusual opportunity means road crews have been able to tackle projects they usually can't get to this time of year. Our Hunter Bertram chatted with some folks from the city of Spokane and the county, also the Department of Transportation. And even though snow hasn't been falling in the greater Spokane area, they are still keeping their road crews busy. They're out filling potholes, doing line work, replacing road markings, and cleaning up the streets.
When we do get those breaks, temperatures slightly warmer than average, above freezing, we can take that opportunity to kind of take care of some of those other issues.
Now the DOT is keeping an eye on the roads from 3 a.m. until 1 a.m. as per winter policy. They say uniquely this winter, though, they've noticed quite a bit of freezing fog. Matt also mentioned that, which means they've been using more de-icing materials on the roads, but fewer plows. In good news for the Medellin Falls area, $1 million is being awarded to advance critical repairs to the water system following a catastrophic failure last year. On October 17th, 2 sections of the aging water mains ruptured on a steep hillside, sending debris onto Highway 31, damaging the hillside and disrupting service for 200 customers. The temporary system in place now is insufficient for long term. The Ponderay Utility District says this money comes from the Commerce Department's Emergency Rapid Response Funding, replacing a previous grant and loan from the State Public Works, reducing the financial burden on customers. Repairs are underway and expected to be completed by June. In Spokane, $48 million of federal funding is coming to help create an American Aerospace Materials Manufacturing Center. Announced by Senator Maria Cantwell, the facility will develop thermoplastic materials that will replace metal in aircraft. The center is expected to repurpose a former manufacturing facility near the airport and also provide workforce training with regional institutions to create new career pathways in our area. Coming up next on Nightside, comfort foods may bring quick but temporary relief during your bad day, but they can also have a significant impact on your brain. How to trick your mind into developing healthier habits when we come back.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
Don't miss the New Year's sale at Consigned Furniture and Jewelry. 20% off already, everyday low prices in-store and online. For all online sales, use promo code 2025. Visit consignedfurniturennow.com for details.
Consigned Furniture. Easy way to sell, smart way to buy.
A new year and a new adventure with the perfect Chevy to take you anywhere. With pure power unleashed and future-forward technology. Because every mile matters. And every path leads to new possibilities. Get $5,250 total cash allowance on this Silverado. Plus, current Chevy owners and lessees get an additional $1,000 cash allowance when you purchase. See your hometown Chevy dealer today.
Nothing. Nada.
If you've been injured in a car or truck accident, you don't pay the advocates anything unless we win.
Zilch. Diddly squat.
Donnie, I think they get it. You can stop now.
Great. I was beginning to run out of words.
As temperatures drop, your heating bill will inevitably rise.
And with cold weather right around the corner, things are about to get expensive. But Bill's Heating and AC is here to help. We're including a free cold climate heat pump with every furnace while supplies last. You heard that right. Cut your heating bills in half with a new energy-efficient cold climate heat pump for free. We're the area's top cold climate heat pump experts. So don't miss out on this incredible offer. Call Bill's Heating and AC today.
I'm Mark Peterson, the Extreme Team and Horizon Credit Union, ready to take on our next job. If you know of a project that needs an Extreme Team makeover, go to KXLY.com to nominate it. Our thanks to Horizon Credit Union for sponsoring the 4 News Now Extreme Team.
Don't miss the New Year's sale at Consigned Furniture and Jewelry. 20% off already, everyday low prices in-store and online. For all online sales, use promo code 2025. Visit ConsignedFurnitureNow.com for details.
Consigned Furniture. Easy way to sell, smart way to buy.
4 News Now is brought to you by STCU and Volunteers Count.
With less than 1 week left of his term, President Joe Biden is saying an official goodbye tomorrow on 4 News Now. You can watch his farewell address to the nation in an ABC special report starting at 5 o'clock, followed by 4 News Now. A new report says that Trump would have been convicted on multiple felonies for his alleged efforts to overturn the 2020 election if he was not reelected. Special counsel Jack Smith suggesting that his evidence against the president-elect was overwhelming, saying over 250 witnesses agreed to voluntarily be interviewed, with 55 appearing before a grand jury. Smith believes Mr. Trump was directly involved in inciting the violence on January 6th. Trump has maintained innocence, claiming that he wanted his supporters' actions to be peaceful. The president calling the investigation politically motivated.
This is prosecutorial misconduct, and its primary purpose is to steal another election.
Smith calling any allegations that his investigation was controlled by the Biden administration, quote, laughable. Trump's legal team tried to block the release of the report Monday, but a judge who was nominated by Trump rejected their request. In the House, lawmakers passed a bill that would block transgender athletes from competing in women's and girls' sports at federally funded schools. House Speaker Mike Johnson saying this bill is not meant to target the trans community, but rather to protect women and girls.
It's biology, and biology is not bigotry, as we say. Anyone who would accuse the supporters of this legislation otherwise is ill-informed.
According to the House Committee on Education and the Workforce, the bill would not ban schools from letting males practice against women's sports teams. The bill now heads to the Senate next, where Republicans have a very narrow majority. That means at least 7 Democrats would have to vote with Republicans for the bill to receive the 60 votes it needs to clear the filibuster and ultimately receive a vote. Well, many of us turn to comfort foods in times of stress, but experts say those foods over time may actually do more harm than good to not only our physical health, but mental health as well. Mandy Gaither explains how they can impact our brain and how you can trick yourself into eating healthier.
It's what we tend to turn to in times of turmoil. Comfort food may bring quick but temporary relief during a bad day, but it can also have a significant impact on your brain.
The first thing that happens is you're not satiated, so you want more of that same food. So it starts to tap into your craving cycles. But the other reason is that these foods then become quite addictive.
Dr. Uma Naidu says research shows that foods that are high in sugar, for example, can also tap into the same reward pathways in the brain as substances like street drugs.
Unfortunately, because these foods cause high blood sugar levels over time, this over the course of your life can actually impact your brain and lead to things like atrophy or brain atrophy. So it actually is damaging to your brain.
Avoiding these foods can be hard. Naidu says the moment something is off limits, your brain wants it more. But she says you can trick your mind into developing healthier habits.
What about some blueberries in your fridge? A clementine with a piece of dark chocolate does phenomenal.
Naidu says instead of giving up an entire food group, your brain will do better with the 80-20 rule.
Which is 80% of the time be eating those healthy foods. And 20% of the time it's the holidays or life happens or it's your birthday, you're traveling, and it's okay.
For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
After the break, sports director Jack Wallace rounds out the rest of high school basketball coverage tonight.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
4 News Now is brought to you by Bigfoot Mechanical.
Friday 2020 is all new.
A beloved father who went missing and evidently told his best friends not to come looking for him.
My family and I are begging you, asking for your assistance.
This is the strangest case I've ever seen.
Now, follow the clues to solve a deadly, mysterious true crime.
Let's just say the phrase, "over my dead body," takes on a new meaning.
And just when you think you know where the story is headed, things take a turn.
The new 2020 Friday night on ABC.
Stay safe while traveling this winter. Before you head out, trust the First Alert weather team to pinpoint the safest times to go and exactly what to expect. 4 News Now First Alert weather on air, on the app, and streaming on KXLY Plus.
Dear all-wheel drive, let's show the road what we've got. Snowy streets, we're coming for you. Icy grip, we're holding tight. Wintry mix, meh. Safety's the name of our game. Yours, Toyota all-wheel drive sedans.
Right now, you can lease a new 2025 Camry for just $349 a month. Find yours at Toyota.com. Toyota, let's go places.
Need inspiration? Shop Fred Meyer. For thousands of appetizing ingredients and meals, savings like $600 in digital coupons, and up to $1 off per gallon at the pump. So you get big flavors and big savings. Fred Meyer, fresh for everyone.
We got one heck of a matchup between Freeman and West Valley boys basketball. The Eagles winners of 3 straight at home. Greyhounds winners of 5 straight away from home. West Valley 10-1, Freeman 9-2. Basketball fans, it's time to feast. Now, the Eagles beat the Scotties in their last meeting by just 3 in December 2023. 31-17 West Valley halftime lead. But watch this Freeman D. Micah Hodges somehow saves the ball, gets it back to him. Pass underneath Colton Wells. He earns the finish. On a 4-0 Freeman run. Slow third quarter for the Eagles, but they're finding the bucket anyway. Nice pass. Flying Brandon Spunage gets a great finish for 2 more. But the Scotties will not stop this intense pressure. Noah Gadd-Lewis double team intercepted by Wells. Watch out below. Wells force 1 cleared for takeoff. What a dunk, bringing the game to a 10-point difference. And despite a 10-point lead with just minutes to go, Freeman completes the comeback, knocks off 10-win West Valley 47-44 after only 6 Eagle fourth quarter points. Now for 2A, girls up first. Pullman beats North Central 70-31. Deer Park downs Clarkston 61-45. Freeman getting that road win over West Valley 43-40. And our most defensive game of the night, East Valley just barely ekes out a 31-30 W over Rogers. Boys up next on the left-hand side here, outside of the Pullman and Freeman wins we already talked about. Clarkston bounced back with a 69-43 win over Deer Park. And Rogers clobbered East Valley 74-44 and the biggest win on the guys' side of 2A. And we have boys first for 3A, 4A. That's on this left side again. Mount Spokane defends home court and wins 80-61 over Central Valley. Ferris outscored Meade by 19 in the fourth quarter. Still fell 72-62. Gonzaga Prep down entering the final frame. It goes on a wild 22-6 run to beat Ridgeline on the road. Lewis and Clark has the worst record in the league, but that did not stop them from knocking off Shadle Park by 12. And then University earns a clean dub at Cheney 75-62. So now on the girls' side, CV stays atop the GSL with a 72-54 W over Mount Spokane. Ridgeline runs away with a big 18-point win over G Prep. Meade does the same at home over Ferris. Lewis and Clark with another strong win. They held Shadle Park to just 27 points, and University earning the blowout of the day with a 69-31 win. Now we got another day. It ends in Y, which means there's another former Jackrabbit committing over to Washington State. It's Matt Jacobs of SDSU joining the Cougs coaching staff today after 3 years leading their strength and conditioning squad. And over the last 15 years, he spent time at Temple, Western Illinois, Northern Illinois, and a few more before that. Jacobs, an SDSU grad, is far from the first Jackrabbit coach to come to WSU as defensive coordinator, cornerback, safeties, offensive coordinator, quarterback coach, O-line coach, running back coach, tight end coach, and wide receiver coach, all moving from SDSU to WSU. So it's going to look a whole lot like Brookings and Pullman this season. Spokane Chiefs having some news today. Their forward Shea Van Olm locking in his college commitment. He's going over to the Penn State Nittany Lions following Braden Crampton. He is off to Bowling Green. Those are the only two Spokane players so far off to an NCAA school. Van Olm's WHL eligibility ending at the conclusion of this year. Forwards Owen Martin, Asanali Sarkinov, and defenseman Owen Schottler make the NHL Central Scouting midterm rankings. Prepping up for that entry NHL draft, the three were among 66 other WHL players. Spokane comes off a 12-2 road throttling of the Wenatchee Wild. They stick on the road tomorrow night up against the Kelowna Rockets. Chiefs took the first two games against those Rockets, then fell 6-5 in overtime in their last meeting. Puck drop tomorrow night at 7:05 p.m. at Prospera Place. Chiefs are now the winners of 3 of their last 4 games. They're coming into this matchup red hot before coming back at home for a long stretch. They have 5 in a row at Spokane Arena starting up this Friday. That's all for sports tonight. Our last look at weather coming up after the break.
Tomorrow will be a delicious competition.
Good morning, America.
2 of America's favorite bagel shops going head-to-head.
Soft and delicious.
In the GMA Bagel Battle. Plus, Keke Palmer live, reuniting with Michael tomorrow on GMA.
Live stream KXLY Plus on the 4 News Now app.
92.9 ZZU.
These are real people seeking solutions to real pain.
I have plantar fasciitis.
My feet, my knees, hips, and back.
And then they were fit with Good Feet arch supports. Clinically proven. Significant pain relief in only 4 weeks.
I'm not feeling any pain. My heel, that's where I always feel it.
Pressure off your knees?
Yeah, actually. I didn't notice any pain in my back. I feel like I could walk all day in these.
Take back the life you love and book your personalized arch support fitting today.
No matter how he got here, how alone she feels, how they've struggled to support their best friend. What's important is this moment, when they reached out and said, I can't do this alone. And we said, that's okay, we'll figure it out together. If you or a loved one needs support, our trained counselors can help you too. 988, anywhere, anytime.
I'm a real wild one. Once in a while, we all want to go wild. We just need a little help. Meet a little help. The 2024 Ford Bronco Sport Wild Edition goes over any terrain, so you can go all out. Get a wild deal on a Bronco Sport today. Lease a 24 Bronco Sport 4x4 Wild Edition for just $299 a month for 36 months, only at your local Ford dealer.
After careful review of medical guidance and research on pain relief, my recommendation is simple. Every home should have Salonpas. Powerful, yet non-addictive. Targeted and long-lasting. I recommend Salonpas. It's good medicine.
See breaking news in your area or have a story idea? Contact 4 News Now.
Well, didn't want you to leave without seeing our pick of the night. Thanks to Stacy, who, yes, walked on her skis all the way up Mount Spokane.
Wow.
On the skins and took this beautiful shot of the sunset. We got more beautiful sunsets coming up, even though it will be slightly colder on Mount Spokane in the future.
Stacy answered the call. We said, please send us your sunset photos. Hey, we want to tell you about a sculpture thief who took this sculpture in Florida, of course, this is in St. Pete, and put it down their pants. It's just Florida people being Florida people.
Oh, boy.
It's a strategy.
Did it work though?